Exactly.
Okay.
Got it. There's always a match backup.
Nicole, come light this. We're going to start with our chalice lighting. We light this chalice to illuminate the steps of where we have been, where we are now, and where we are going together. We light it to honor unity, growth, and as a reminder of the mortar that holds this congregation together. This light is a sacred representation of the bonds, commitment, and welcoming we make today. The light casts no shadow, and near its light and warmth, our shadow grows. May we find and remember to seek the light through difficult times. To remember a shadow, our own shadow self, is an inevitable part of being surrounded by each other's light. And let it serve as a reminder to seek the light in our own or the world's shadow. This light sees and honors the light within us all, for it is the same light. And this light welcomes in this congregation's new chapter.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson. We are located on the land of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee and the Southern Iroquois. We are glad you are joining us today for the installation service for our new settled minister, the Reverend Holly Brown. My name is Leslie Vissage. I served as a member of the search committee, and I am a member of the board of UUFC. I would like to extend greetings to the members, friends of UUFC, as well as the visiting clergy and family members for this special occasion. We are grateful for your presence, including those attending via live stream. And also, there will be a live chat feature open during the installation service for those who are joining us online. Welcome all.
Good afternoon. I'm the Reverend Chris Hockman from your neighboring congregation in Greenville. My colleagues and I, ministers from across the Western Carolinas cluster, celebrate with you this significant milestone in your relationship as minister and congregation. I first met Reverend Holly in February a year ago when they were pre-candidating and leading the service in Greenville. Y'all didn't know about that then. I witnessed as Reverend Holly drew in the congregation with warmth and authenticity and humor, all the while explaining all of the letters of LGBTQIA plus and more, and all of the nuance surrounding those letters in this patient and accessible way. The congregation was quite taken, and I caught myself thinking, how great it would be to have Reverend Holly close by as a colleague and a friend, and really wanting them to get the call to Clemson. So well done, Clemson UU Fellowship. Holly, on behalf of your nearest colleagues, we welcome you into our circle of support, collegiality, and care, and occasional silliness. You have been to the mountain, so you know. I am so excited to see what you and this congregation will do next. All indicators say it will be amazing. Lots of love to you all.
Shine. Hello, my name is Karen Hiebel. I am the Director of Lifespan Faith Formation here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson.
And my name is Melissa Berger-Afragola, and I am the chair of the RE, Religious Exploration, here at UUFC.
And it is our privilege to present our charge to the minister from the children and youth of UUFC. It is hard to believe that it has been almost a full year since that exciting Sunday when, just as the adult members of the congregation were meeting here in this sanctuary to vote on calling a new minister, the children and youth gathered in the religious education wing to cast their own votes on whether they wanted to call Reverend Holly. That vote, by the way, was unanimous, 100% in favor. Such was the enthusiasm from the entire group that some of our youngest members were more than a little dismayed to find out that we had to wait the whole summer long for Reverend Holly to move here and actually start work as our new minister.
But that journey began 1 year ago when Reverend Holly came to visit us during our candidating week. I served on the search committee and was very honored to be able to spend time with them while they were here. Our children hosted a pizza party for them, and they were nice enough to even invite their parents to come with. Reverend Holly won over the hearts of each and every one of them. Each one of our children that night had a wonderful time. And so it was only apropos that we have our religious education group write this charge.
So since then, we've had some time to get to know Reverend Holly better and to talk with our children and youth about exactly what it is that a minister does. We have talked about what we expect from our minister and what our minister can expect from us. For example, the kids love it when Reverend Holly knows their names. They also like that they can ask questions and, of course, eat pizza with them. We thought we'd share with you some of the things that our kids have said that they like about you, Reverend Holly.
They said that they have felt how much you have embraced them. They told us that they like that they feel safe coming to you when they have questions. They said that they like that they know that you know a lot about many different things and can have different conversations with them. And they like that you are kind and that you are caring. We also asked them that this past few weeks what qualities they thought a good minister should have, and this is what they told us.
Willing to help anyone who comes to them with the same level of compassion for all. Be a good leader and support us in our journeys, but don't necessarily tell us where we're going. Someone who sticks to their principles and be accepting of everyone. So Reverend Holly, on behalf of the children and youth of this congregation, we stand here today to charge you to continue to be our guiding light, to teach us, and to walk with us with love and compassion on our shared journey into our future. And the children have a little token for you that I will get to later.
And they don't want you to leave, so. Ever.
So, we have our invitation to generosity during this time in the service, and usually another minister or somebody else is charged with doing this. But I decided that it's my installation. If I want to tell you about the offering recipient, I can do that, right? Yes. So, I wanted to share with you, and there's a little insert in your order of service that tells you a little bit more about the Unitarian Universalist Living Tradition Fund. And this fund provides scholarships, which ministers going through seminary is not a cheap experience. And having funds and resources as grants beforehand is really valuable. And they also do this wonderful debt reduction that you can apply for every year to help with receiving assistance as you're repaying those sometimes very exorbitant seminary costs. And they also provide emergency assistance for ministers and their families in times of need. But the offering today will be split between them and PFLAG of Anderson, and PFLAG stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gay People. And I had the privilege of serving on the board of the Greenville, North Carolina PFLAG back in 2016 during North Carolina's passing of what was commonly known as the bathroom bill, and the impact that had on the trans community, and being able to sit in a room with 4 trans kids as they talked about their experience in their school system and trying to make sure they didn't have to go to the bathroom during the day. And then while I was in Tallahassee, Ian, who you'll hear in a little bit, was my worship associate that Sunday. A trans kid came to our service and saw me as a non-binary minister and Ian as a trans-masculine minister and felt seen in our UU spaces. So I know how valuable having a space that supports LGBTQIA community is. And they're working on developing one for here in Pickens County, and they'll probably be meeting in this building, which is exciting. But for this time, it will be our offering, half of it will be going to PFLAG Anderson. And for anybody that would like to give for the offering when it's received, you will write in the memo that it's for the installation, and it will be equally divided between those. And for anybody online or wanting to give online at another time, if you go to the donate button on our website, there is a tab for the installation offering. And so now our offering will be received, and we will have a beautiful piece by the choir as well.
Testing. 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 Testing, testing. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Test, test.
Check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check. Okay. Can we bring this one up? I think mine too. Test, test.
Hello?
Check, 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 check. This one.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. Ooh. Ooh. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Was something supposed to happen first? Okay, I just want to make sure. Oh, it is so lovely to see you all. Forgive me getting my stuff together. Good afternoon? Afternoon, yes. I was prepared to be talking in the morning. I was like, no, afternoon, evening, something kind of day. Again, my name is the Reverend Ian Hill. I use all pronouns. I identify as non-binary, and as Reverend Holly said, I am transmasculine. I'd like to begin by referring to a couple of the lyrics from that beautiful song that was just saying, thank you so much. I believe that this very moment is the sound of one voice, the sound of one spirit, of one who makes a choice. This sound is me singing with you. It is the sound of us helping each other, of us singing to make it through. This experience is the sound of voices three, whole fellowship singing together in harmony. This is the sound of voices joined as one, together surrendering to the mystery. This moment is the sound of all of us joining in as one, singing with love, with the will to trust. Joining in and leaving the rest behind, allowing what needs to fade to dust. This installation ceremony is the sound of our one voice. No, it is beautiful. It is the sound of one spirit, of one community who came together and made a choice. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. And I am one of those woo-woo kind of ministers that really believes that even the mistakes are divine. Even the mistakes are divine. Is this laughter, this joy, this humor, this lightheartedness is the sound of all of us joining as one with love and affirmation of this very moment. Some who are Unitarian Universalists know that the installation service is a formal type celebration of the covenantal relationship between minister and the community that has called that minister. To be clear, the installation isn't something that the congregation does for the minister. Rather, it honors and sings with one communal voice the promises you are making to one another as you further build upon your already growing shared ministry. This installation is an invitation to both the individual and communal transformation. I am honored to have been invited into this experience of individual and communal transformation. Again, good afternoon, friends and family, members of UU Fellowship of Clemson. I am so grateful to be with you all today. It is my honor and great joy to have a role in the installation of my beloved colleague and dear friend, Reverend Holly Brown. It's a particularly full circle moment for Holly and I, considering they played such a significant role in my ordination ceremony. We are literally cut of the same cloth. This stole Holly had made for me out of their cloth. Same person commissioned. I believe it's the same cloth. I believe it's the same cloth. It is truly a gift to have the opportunity to reciprocate the love that you, Holly, installed in my ministry and in me and poured into me personally. If I say nothing else as words of this sermon, let it be my prayer that your ministry here in Clemson be as grounded in love, that is supportive, enriching, joyous, and transformative. These are just a fraction of the blessings you bestowed upon me and my ministry, and I thank you for the gift of the opportunity to return this blessing. Bless you, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson, in your decision to join in one voice in calling and installing my beloved colleague and dear friend, Reverend Holly Brown. Y'all just don't know how blessed and fortunate and just how wonderful of a moment this is. And now this concludes my formal portion of the sermon. Like, that was all the main stuff, because I don't know if Reverend Holly told y'all anything about me or if you are gleaning from my personality, but I'm the playful sort, and you know, all of this formal kind of talk makes me sometimes uncomfortable, so I wanted to say all of the important things up front, acknowledge the significance of today's time together, acknowledge the importance of Reverend Holly, but I really want to just give y'all the background tea, because I was Reverend Holly's roommate, so. I really want to let y'all know what y'all really got coming to you. That's what I came here to do. I'm joking, but I do have a particular depth of insight into the person that Clemson called to wear the title of minister here. As a close friend, I've seen the heart or the sustaining force that supports Holly when the role of reverend is laid down before their personal altar. I've witnessed moments of Rev Holly's shedding of layers of hard-learned lessons that only came in that challenging release of energy ripe with the spirit of hard-earned transformation. Our friendship was forged during dark nights of the soul, during literal late-night strolls through graveyards that felt safe enough to bury our own sense of ministerial burdens. It was during those walks and hikes through forests and parks that I learned of Holly's deep grounding in nature and macabre spirituality, which, for folks who don't know, is often characterized as something scary, but truly, it is a healthy appreciation of death energy, and that is the bedrock of true transformation. I share this because I want y'all to know the pillar of change that y'all are installing into this community. It's so important, and I'm looking over at Holly's parents right now and acknowledging them for being bedrocks of transformation and change, and just grounding Holly in the deep sense of spirituality that y'all did, because oh my goodness, and in my faith, I'll say, oh my God, the spirituality that radiates from your child, without even using those words, without even using words like spirituality and things that get lost sometimes, Holly exudes a kind of grounding that comes from, I say, really wonderful parenting, really loving parenting, deeply faithful and grounding family and friendship. Y'all have such a jewel, such a gem. As I now serve as the solo contract minister of the congregation that Reverend Holly previously served, I also have the privilege of building upon layers of transformative leadership energy that Reverend Holly's interim ministry provided. Reverend Holly guided UUCT's community through the adoption of the 8th principle. And for folks who don't know what the 8th principle is in Unitarian Universalism, the words of that text say that we covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse and multicultural beloved community, by actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and institution. Why am I bringing this up right now and in this context? Because to take the lead of guiding the kind of transformation the 8th principle inspires in the city of Tallahassee, in a time when Florida's legislation was actively whitewashing African American history and the histories of people of color with so-called anti-woke agenda, Reverend Holly was a firm ally in the pulpit and in committee meetings advocating for real change, at least in our sanctuary. I share this with you because I want y'all to know truly the gem of a minister this community is installing into your ranks. I deeply believe that it is because of Reverend Holly's hard work and commitment that paved a path for me to come behind them. Great change happens in the wake of great leadership, and I am here as a testament to the gifts of even the residue of Reverend Holly's ministry. As many UU congregations now move towards adopting language of Article 2, 7 values of generosity, justice, interdependence, pluralism, equity, transformation, and love at the center, I imagine that Clemson may be like the UU Church of Tallahassee before we adopted the 8th principle. Perhaps folks in this community feel unsure of the change and shift away from words of principles that are intrinsic to our UU faith. I just want to share that it's really natural to feel resistance and reservation about the transformation of something so foundational, but luckily, Reverend Holly is such an experienced change agent that I can tell you with a level of firsthand experience that this community is in such good hands. So something else for folks who, as y'all are getting to know me, how I communicate with Spirit a lot of times. There's a song that comes to my heart, and sometimes there's like poetry and imagery. If I had more time, like if we were like, and I'm not one of those old school Baptist ministers, but I'd be like, oh, if I had a little bit more time, can I have some more time, church? Can I take you to church? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But if I had the time, I would share with y'all the vision that was guided when I gave the gift of the pendant that Reverend Holly is wearing today. I would share the vision of that, but because of the depth and the amount of words I feel like it would take, I'm not gonna share it, but I'm gonna share it with Holly, and maybe at some point they will share it with you all. So instead of sharing that vision, I want to close with the other thing that Spirit left me with was a song. When I was reflecting on the song that I would want to share with this community, for y'all to recall when you're thinking about Holly and like the kind of minister that they are. It's a song that is one of the, it's in our newer hymnals, and now I can't remember the number that it is, but I think that y'all might know it, and so y'all could join in as I sing it. It goes, sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. My friend taught me, little me, when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. I want to say this part, because this part is really important, that Holly taught me and that I really want this community to think of. Please swallow your pride. If I have things, when Holly has things that you need to borrow, please swallow your pride. Because if Holly has things that you need to borrow, they will share them with you. Because Holly understands that no one can feel those of your needs that you don't let show. Holly helped me to know that I could just call on my brother, my sibling, when I needed a hand. Because the truth is, we all need somebody to lean on. I want y'all to know that when y'all are not strong, y'all have a minister who will be your friend. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Karl, and I'm board president of this fellowship. On behalf of our fellowship, I would like to welcome all our visitors and all the friends and members of the congregation who are here today to celebrate Reverend Holly's installation. The act of installation symbolizes a covenant between the members of the congregation and the minister whom they have chosen. The relationship is based upon a shared confidence, respect, and trust, and is undertaken by mutual consent. Reverend Holly, will you come forward? On April 30th, 2023, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson voted to call Holly Brown as our settled lead minister. We did so after carefully exploring our congregation's character, our needs, and our aspirations. And we chose Reverend Holly in confidence that we will move together in partnership and love toward the fulfillment of our hopes. Reverend Holly, we have called you to live among us, provide religious leadership, pastoral care, and spiritual guidance and encouragement in times of joy and times of sorrow. We have called you to lead us with the help of that greater spirit which unites and binds all living things. In the paths of understanding, speaking the truth in love, and teaching us by word and by example in the months and years ahead. Today, we celebrate the reality of our covenant. Reverend Holly, it is my honor to ask, are you ready to enter into this covenant with us, formally and fully?
In case that wasn't clear, yes, I am. I got ahead of us.
Will the members of the UU Fellowship of Clemson please rise in body or in spirit and join me in the following words. We cherish our fellowship for its historic achievements and for its efforts to keep abreast of changing times. We celebrate its devotion to freedom and its dedication to issues of justice and to the inherent dignity and worth of all people. We cherish those who founded, nurtured, and progressively transformed our existence as a congregation. We cherish our fellowship for all that it now has to give and for what it may yet become through our united efforts. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson, do hereby install you, Reverend Holly, as minister of our fellowship. For our part, we pledge to journey with you in the ways of truth, justice, love, and the Spirit. We offer you the cooperation of our hearts and hands and our resolute goodwill as you take up your work among us.
Thank you. It is with gratitude for your trust that you place in me that I accept your invitation as minister. I welcome the opportunity to be a fellow traveler on our spiritual journey together, to be a spiritual leader, and to live and speak the truth in love, to minister to you and with you. In times of trial and in times of grace, I welcome the opportunity to help you minister to one another as well, and to the work that you and we foster, the growth of beloved community. May our journey together be rich and joyful. May it be so, and may we make it so. Yeah. Blessed.
Hello, I'm the Reverend Christina Branum-Martin, and I bring you greetings from the Emerson Unitarian Universalist congregation of Marietta, Georgia, where I am privileged to serve as their minister now. It is such a joy to be here with you in this special room, in this special place, with this beloved congregation, and with my friend and colleague, Reverend Holly Brown. So I am here to lead you through an old ritual called the laying on of the hands. It is as old as the earliest days of the Christian church, when it signified a community's commission of an individual to spread the teachings of Jesus. It is and was a physical demonstration of the community's affirmation of support for the person chosen as their leader. So now, in our religious tradition, we have returned to this ritual in recognition that ministry can be hard, but we do not go it alone. All along the way, Reverend Holly will need to know that all of us gathered in this room affirm their role in called ministry and with this congregation. Reverend Holly knows that while they have a particular and important role in this congregation, yes, definitely, today's service is about a relationship in the congregation and the promises that you make to each other. It is about the ministry you are called to do together in this world which so much needs what Unitarian Universalism has to offer: care for one another, care for the earth, more justice, and more love. And as you have already begun a relationship of shared ministry in this past year, it is important today that we go deep into that relationship with Holly, that we each know that we are not alone in this work and that we come together in this task. Holly, you are not alone in your struggles or in your healing of the past, in your crucial work in the present, and in your visions for the future. You are not alone in the world that often leaves us isolated from each other. You are not alone in learning to be accountable and to foster caring relationships with one another. You are not alone, and you have never been, has she? We are in these struggles with you, and we are cheering for you, and we know that in that cheer, we will stay committed to this work of manifesting more love in this world. So Holly, will you come up to the front, right beside the pulpit? And Holly's parents, will you come up? And what we will do, starting with Holly's parents and Brother Adam and Mercedes and Nicole too, we are going to slowly widen this circle of love and care and commitment to Holly and to the ministry that Holly brings to this congregation. And we will build and grow this circle of love and care amongst this congregation in relationship based on love and respect and care for each other. If you are a member of the Board of Trustees, come on up. You are an essential leadership team in this ministry, and we are here to bless you today as you bless Holly and each other. And colleagues, usually we ask the colleagues to come up and be a part of this laying on of the hands, but I want you as colleagues to go to the exterior of this room and raise your hands up to honor and support this congregation. I believe we do this today so that we can let this congregation know that we will be there when they need us, and that we will encircle this room with love. We want to especially acknowledge that Reverend Mary Frances Corner and Reverend Rod Debs are with us online today. We feel you in the room. And now, the rest of us in this room, the members and friends of this congregation, if you would stand where you are and just move forward, and we're going to join together physically. You can come forward and put your hand on a shoulder, move forward and touch Holly and Holly's family and close friends. It takes a little while, but we can do it. Touch the hand or shoulder of whatever you are next to. Thank you. Beloveds who have joined in online, please add your presence here in the chat. Put your name in the chat and let us know you were there. And raise your hands and hearts and intentions and prayers so that they can be felt all in this room. Holly, colleagues, all of us here, take a moment to breathe and look around in this room and see each other's eyes. See the presence of each other. And if seeing is not available to you, feel what you feel in the person's presence next to you. I think the founders are here, the founders of this congregation, and all of the leaders and ministers who have come through since then. This is Reverend Holly's day, and this is your day too. This fellowship, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson. We hope and pray that you can feel how valuable you are to this community. Reverend Holly, today we give physical form to the spiritual truth that we are indeed all connected and that we depend on one another for more than we know. And if we have learned anything in the pandemic, it is that we need each other. Our illusions of separateness are gone, and there is no going back. We are in this together, like it or not, and there is no way that we will not be there for each other. We are enough for each other. And Holly, may you always remember that you are enough, and this congregation will be here. We are abundant in love, and it is radiating in this room now. Love, love at the center in this room, right here, right now. I feel it. And if you can share with me in saying, Amen. Amen. May it be so.
Y'all sing pretty well. So, officially, I'm here not to give the charge to the congregation. That's my colleague, Rev. Eve. I'm going to give the charge to Holly, the minister. But you know, Holly is a human being. We're all human beings. There'll be some overlap. If something I say applies to you, I invite you to take it to heart and incorporate it as well, even though I'm speaking primarily to you. And we just heard, you got to do when the Spirit says do. I don't claim to speak for spirit. I can speak for your body mind. When your body mind says do, you got to do, my friends. Now, perhaps Reverend Holly already knows body mind. I want to make sure everyone in the room does, and out online. Body mind, it is what it says. It's the fact that our bodies and our minds are not separate. They are, in fact, integrally separate, interdependent. Together, if something happens to what Western culture says is our physical body, it also affects our mental body, and vice versa. They're all one thing. And beyond just that simple concept, which the Tibetans and the Navajo and many other cultures have known for a very, very long time, Western culture, Plato, Paul, Descartes, mind-body problem. There's this thing and there's this thing. And that leads to all sorts of issues. The idea that we can use our willpower to change things about ourselves. And other problematic issues. Only recently are we beginning to address the centuries-long mistake that Western culture has made. Disability scholar Margaret Price coined the term body-mind in her 2011 book, Mad at School, a little over a decade. Eli Clare, activist for queer and disability studies, uses body-mind in his brilliant Imperfection to expressly challenge Western dualism and to insist that people with disabilities are not broken, nor do we need fixed. We are wonderful individuals as we are. So I talk about body minds in all of their wonderful diversity. So do what your body mind says to do. And don't wait until it says necessarily. Maybe do it a little before when you're actually needing it. If your body mind says rest, don't wait until you're exhausted. Get some rest. If there are things to do, and there are always things to do, rest. Hydrate. I don't know how y'all do it down here in the South. In Michigan, it snowed today. I was sweating walking to the car. No, that's oil. Don't drink that. Oh my God. Clearly not planned. Drink the water. Hydrate. Use all of your vacation and your study leave. Say that again. Use all of your vacation and study leave. Spend some of that time with colleagues. And by colleagues, I mean time with ordained clergy, UUCC other, time with queer folks, time with neurodivergent and neurospicy folk. Obviously, there's not exclusive in those categories. There's lots of overlap. But make sure there's some of all of that in your life. Time with family, which is not necessarily always restorative, but it's grounding in a way that we need. And I say that with intense appreciation for family. Take care of yourself as only you know how to do. Take care of yourself as only you know how to do. And this might be a little more specific. Attend to the spooky. Ground yourself in that which you know to be nourishing. Call down the moon. and let it move through you in the ways that you know it does. It is apparent to me in your eyes, in your speech, the way you hold your body, how much you love these people, this community, and our world. Just make sure that you are spending that much love to yourself, too.
Greetings, everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I am Eve Stevens, and my sister Lee and I grew up in this congregation, daughters of the wonderful Cindy Lee, who's involved in a little bit of everything, and the late, great Riley Stevens. I see some of my former RE teachers and Our Whole Lives teachers and the parents of kids I used to babysit who are now really tall and wiser. A lot of the adults in this room helped me become the person that I am. And I hold in my body forever what it is like to be unconditionally loved by a community. It is a feeling that has helped me weather my most painful losses. It is a feeling that has allowed me to embrace the good parts of life with curiosity and trust. And in large part, it was this congregation that gave me that gift. Reverend Holly is just the minister that I would choose for my home congregation. They are warm-hearted, creative, committed to justice. They love their work. And look at this rowdy, really fun bunch they pulled together. This is the best time I've ever had at an installation, so well done. Ministry can be a very challenging calling, and that's because the people who do it aren't just kind of casually interested in it, but rather prepared to give their heart in the effort. Reverend Holly sees a wealth of possibilities in this community. They could be so many places, and they chose here. And you continue to discover every day the wealth of possibilities that Reverend Holly brings. This ministry will be meaningful, enjoyable, and sustainable. You can ensure that it is so by knowing that whatever you want to happen in this time with Reverend Holly is yours to co-create with them. The culture, the goals that are set, what is accomplished, how people treat one another is as much yours to create as it is Reverend Holly's to shape. To build the kind of long-term ministry that you envision, continue to look honestly at yourself as a congregation. Bring the willingness to make use of your strengths and the commitment to face your growing edges with tenacity and a sense of humor. Remember in all things that in addition to being a minister, Reverend Holly is a human. They have an identity and personhood beyond and outside of ministry that must be honored and nourished. Adequate time to rest and reflect and play away from the demands of ministry will only make Reverend Holly more grounded and present in their role. Remember also that while LGBTQIA justice is near and dear to Reverend Holly's heart, they cannot do all of that work alone. And as a queer, non-binary leader, that particular area of justice takes a personal toll on Reverend Holly and requires additional emotional energy. So staying aware of that fact will help build trust between you while deepening the impact of your shared justice work. I have witnessed how you as a congregation create a sense of belonging. I've also seen how you invite those among you to try again and again, week after week, to build the more just and compassionate world that you dream is possible. And as I learned this week, your commitment to one another and to supporting your ministers so they can thrive continues. The congregation planned a surprise for Reverend Holly, and I got roped into it, I'm delighted to say. So as a congregation, in celebration of this day, you have raised over $300 for Reverend Holly's discretionary fund. Well done. And you did that in addition to coming together to commission a stole made with love and the fire of commitment you hold for this ministry. So I would like to invite my mama, Cindy Lee, longtime member, RE teacher, board member, building and grounds participant, all of the above, to come forward. And just one moment. I know, she's coming for you. All right, congregation, as you bestow this gift upon Reverend Holly, do you as a congregation pledge to share your support, encouragement, creativity, love, humor, imagination, and energy in the dance of co-creating this ministry with Reverend Holly? If so, please respond, I do. I do. I guess we do would have been better. Let's say we do. We do.
would it be a UUFC service if we didn't have a slide missing? The chalice stayed lit the whole time this time. Yay! Because it doesn't always. It's run out of oil a few times. But I love the spirit and enthusiasm of the la la la's when the words stopped. And I wrote a benediction, and I'm going to share that, but that in and of itself feels like a really good benediction, of that we just kind of roll with it and continue to have fun with it. But the words that I wrote for the benediction are inspired, loosely, by the words of Emily Richards. As we leave this time together, may we be transformed by that fire of commitment, that fire of commitment of shared ministry. May the promises that we made here to get today together, I almost said today, and that seems appropriate too. So, continue to move us forward on our spiritual journey together, moving us towards the beloved community that we dream of. May we share this transformative power everywhere that we go, letting it shine its light through us, through our words, our deeds, our thoughts, and our interactions. May we be changed and transformed as we become our better selves. May it be so. May we make it so. And blessed be.